everyone. I would like to talk about some of the telepathic things that shows up. Lately, it's my body that are doing funny things. No, it's always been picking up on things. I always thought it was mine when my stomach bloated. And it could like bloat in a few minutes to double size and hurt like colic kind of hurt. So yesterday, I was running body processes with a couple of friends, energetic processes, and everything was fine. And I got up to have some Coca-Cola as my sugar was going low. And I drank this glass, and then this sensation in my body comes that I had so often. Like when I was a kid, adult, many times I had this extreme pain, and then I start bloating. And I used to go to, the last few years I've been going to, it's probably the ulcer that used to maybe be there. Or it was like an ulcer because it kept giving up in my left arm and out my arm, and this pressure, pain coming up. And that was the reason and justification for what was going on in my body, and it had been. And I was like, I just had Coca-Cola. It must be that. And then I stopped and I asked a question. What the fuck is this? Because it was like instantaneous, like shift, and not right when I was drinking. And I kept asking, what is this? And it was so painful. It's like, how can that just show up like that? I had coffee all day and there was nothing from the coffee. And usually those would go together if you use your logical mind. So what if you didn't have to use your mind? What if I stopped using my mind and asked some more questions? So I'm sitting there, I'm supposed to run a body process, supposed to pick a body process to run while my other friend was running bars. And this was, I couldn't touch her. And it was like every time I came near her body to choose something, it was like, no. And then this energy, it's called restoration of structural function of body or something with structure and function of the body came up. And that was the only thing that lightened up a little, but not really. Just for a few seconds, and I'm like, okay, I'll have to run that on her. And so I put my hand in the position for it, and and her body was going, I thought her body was going, get away from me, don't touch me there. And I asked her, a few questions, and she went, my body has no problem with this. You can put your hand anywhere. And I was still like, get away. And this intense pain in my body, and I'm getting a little intense. And so this intense pain was there. So I just had to stop, move my hand away, and I went down to the feet, and I was sitting there just near it. I said, I'll just run it from here. And up comes this, it's not a picture, but it's a perceiving of a force field. And it was like colory, bluish, purplish, like I couldn't reach her through this field. That was the perceiving I had. It was like I couldn't get to her. I was not allowed. And so I described this, and I'm like, this is what I'm perceiving. What the fuck is this? Excuse my language, but what is this? And then the pain was still there. And my other friend, she looks behind me and she says, there's a man behind you. So I tap into this man, this energy of the man. And I'm like, more pain. I'm like, okay, we're probably going to hear an ambulance soon. I'm healing somebody and he's next door. And it was like a next door thing. And I was like, okay, great. My body is telling me somebody is screaming for attention. Some other body is saying, ah! And I was like, okay, we probably hear the ambulance. And the friend I was trying to gift these body processes, she says, oh, there's a hospital just a few blocks away. And I go, okay, I'm bell jarring the whole bar. I'm putting a bell jar over the whole hospital. Like, that would be like glass. Not so much information coming through. And as soon as I did that, half of the sensation perceiving went away. I won't say that bell jarring is a smart thing to do, because you bell jar everything and you're pretty alone. But it worked right there. And I could start asking more questions as my body wasn't so intensely in agony all the time, screaming at me. And so I realized there was somebody who was in pain, and the other friend could still hear him screaming. Luckily, I didn't have that perception. That too it will be. So what is it that we're perceiving? And this is like, I got that this was this like telepathic information. It's like, what can I do with this? And I kept asking, well, how do I change this? Can I change this? And one of the energies we have in access is like the 14 came up, and like activating the particulates of death. And it was so easy. And I was like, okay, I'll just be that energy. And it eased up. And it got more ease, and I could start gifting the body process, another body process, to my friend. And I went on a galactic one instead of function, because it was his body that was asking for one to connect his body and being, because they were parting. And there was so much other stuff going on. And during this, at some point, I just hear this hide sound when like I perceive an entity speaking. And it was like him going, okay, I'm leaving now. And so I facilitated that. Who are you? And who were you before that? And he could leave. And there was peace in my body. And the bloatness started to fall down again, rumbling going on, and the energy could move again. Yeah, this is a long video, but I just wanted to say, it's like, and my question is, because we're talking about other stuff and telepathic stuff tonight, Delaney, I have a question. How can we have more ease with this? All this body perceiving, how big will I have to be? What will I have to know? What will I have to be willing to know to have ease with this? How fast can I change this when I perceive this? And not stop receiving, because this is what's going on for me. I often, when I get this intensity, I stop receiving and shut myself down, go lie down, go scream, whatever. And it's not really mine. And how do I work with this healing capacity when the healing that obviously was required here was activating particulates of death so he could leave his body? That was the healing that came up. And how fast can we be with all of this? That was my intense thing going on. And there was some not very kind energies around it too that I had to clear. Yeah, that was my little story. Maybe it can work for you to have more ease with your body too. See you all tonight.